Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 581.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
Hey, this is Rob.
Oh, perfect. So if you guys are wondering who that is,
it's me.
That's him. Yay.
Haven't been here in a long time.
Like, what's up with that? Like, where you been?
Working, building a business.
Why are you doing that stuff?
I don't know, making money.
Oh, well, hey, whatever works. So, for those of you who haven't been here in a while, he hasn't been here in a while either, but he is here today. Oh, wow, we can hear that. So what we're going to do is we're going to be answering your questions. For those of you who want to, yes, we already have a caller dialing in. This is good. You need to dial the number, and Megan is going to remind me of what that number is because I have forgotten again. And let me go back to here. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, welcome. My name is Jay, CEO of Cashflow Diary, and what we do is we do our best to help individuals become bigger, better, badder entrepreneurs in any way that we possibly can, because the goal at the end of the day is for you guys to go out there and change lives, provide jobs, change your family in some way, shape, or form. We do that using real estate vis-a-vis the short-term rental strategy. And at the end of the day, hopefully, every one of you become exactly what you hope to be. So with that being said, I have with me today none other than Mr. Robert Vocolla. So he will be here to assist with some answers, and we are going to do our best. One of the things that I'm going to tell you today is a strategy that I know if you use it, well, what it'll do is it will assist you in becoming very profitable, especially during holiday season. So we will definitely talk about that for sure. Were you about to say something?
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm excited to be here. It's been a long time since I've been here. I don't think I've actually been on the live stream since you moved to this new studio.
No.
That's very exciting. I feel like this is my first time. Like I'm like jittery. I'm excited. I gotta get some questions. I want to talk to some people.
Yes, we are definitely going to do that. All kinds of new
technology, guys. This is like a rocket ship in here. This is great.
Absolutely. 417-344-2274. That's the number to dial if you want to talk to us while we are sitting here. And we have a caller at the moment, so we're going to definitely go ahead and take that. And then for those of you who are watching on Instagram. Oh, nope. Instagram. We ain't on Instagram right now. From the Facebook page or our Facebook groups, or if you're watching on Twitter, Periscope, etc., make sure you type in the chat, especially those of you on YouTube. We'll be able to see your questions as well and kind of go from there. Yeah, I've got to go so I got to figure out how to set the focal point on that particular one while you're here.
Okay, here's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Because there's some housekeeping.
Yeah.
So flip that camera on.
It is on.
It's on right now. It's on me.
Yeah, it's on you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on now.
Go fix that focal point.
Yeah, well, okay, got it.
Guys, we got something I need to do that's super important. I have a very special guest that's watching the live stream today. She made a request. She said, well, I told her I was going to be on today. And she says, oh, you're going to be the sexy one. I need a wink. So this is Mrs. Vocolla, just so everyone's clear. So Mrs. Vocolla, this wink's for you. Love you, baby. I'll be home in a couple hours. Now we can get serious with short-term rental stuff.
Okay. Yeah, now we can get serious with the short-term rental stuff. Is that good for you? Does that look right?
That looks good. That's crystal clear now.
Right,
let me do that wink one more time.
Oh, my God. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, enough of that. As I said, oh, my goodness. I need that because that controls 417-344-2274. I will put that on the screen since David was kind enough to type it in there for us. 417-344-2274. We are going to talk to, looks like Brian and April from Michigan. Let's see how things are going. Oh, crud. Forgot that was still playing. Hey, Brian. April, how are you guys doing?
Hey, Jay, we're back.
We're back. Well, okay, yes. We're glad you're back.
We never really went away.
Well, you're right. Where could you have possibly have gone?
We're glued. Getting right to it for you. We did finally get that first guest, and we ran into kind of a situation where we disabled access to guests to have control to the Vivint panel.
Yes.
But there was still that just little swipe sensor that they could arm it. So when they went to leave the next morning, it was setting off the alarm, was calling to see if you had either a process in place to let them know before check-in, or if that was a setting that we could change on the system itself.
I would love to tackle this one.
I wasn't even going to say anything. Just go for it.
So for all the technology that we have in place in our rentals, this is a what is it called?
Source
not
subject?
digital, but if it's not digital, it's an analog. Analog process for this one. So we actually use sticky labels that we put on the panel itself that says for administrative use only. Do not touch. Tampering with this device may alert and call authorities. So once we started using that, or putting those on all of our panels, we got far fewer false positives. We also created a basic template in Smartbnb that said something to the effect of our security company notified us that your panel may have been set to arm. In order to not have a false call, we turn that off for you. And in the future, yada, 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 I'll fill in the blanks, right? So we have a basic template that we send out when it does get armed. It was either getting armed or having false alarms probably 3 or 4 times a day.
Too frequently.
And that's out of at that time, I think we had 12 rentals.
Yeah.
And then once we put that on, it's maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, and that's out of 19 rentals now.
Yeah, it doesn't happen anywhere near as much as it used to, is the point. And please do something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes, we actually have a label maker, and I love it.
And April loves making labels. So
we love labels. I love labels.
Well,
just
also,
make it sound
hold on.
as authoritative as possible.
Yeah, definitely make it sound like there's consequences, but also make it big. Because I'm telling you, they're still going to you forget, not see the label, or I don't know, something like that.
No, we can get that. So everybody is just using this for basically just between guests.
What?
The security system is, we're only arming it in between stays.
Well, okay, yes, in theory, but if you're doing everything that we've suggested, in between stays is between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. the same day. I mean, it's not even worth it because your cleaning crew's there.
We hope so.
Good point.
So, but yeah, you're right, and just keep that in mind.
Okay, that fixes it.
Oh, okay, got it. So, was that it? That's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you? Okay, so how did you get the second reservation yet?
We have the second and the third and the fourth, and we got a 5-star review on our first guest.
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
On our way.
So, well,
we're up and running.
Okay, so you know what my question is then, right?
When are we getting our next unit?
See, I love it. Yes.
Yes.
And the answer is?
We do. We want a duplex or a quadplex, if that's what they're called. We want a multiple, so we're looking for it.
Yeah, we're running into, like you had mentioned, the logistics of a single-family home. It's just, it makes more sense to scale when we've got more units within arm's reach of each other.
It's almost like I predicted that. Almost, but good.
You gotta start with one. One.
I understand. Good job. I'm glad to hear it. Again, if you have some more questions, feel free to type them in the chat or make sure they make it to the Facebook group. But this is good stuff. So for those of you watching, this is pretty much how we roll. We have students all across the country and globe who are becoming bigger, better, badder entrepreneurs via the using short-term rentals as the strategy in order to go out there and build their real estate portfolio. So I am seeing a good number of calls coming in. So Megan, we are going to have fun today, which is awesome. So I'm gonna do my best to get through some of these, which means so that everyone knows, if you are typing in the chat, we haven't forgotten about you. However, we do prioritize the questions that come in from students. So just know that they're gonna definitely get their questions answered. And if you wanna speed it up, call in. So that's usually the fastest way to get it done. So we're gonna go to Dave in LA. Hey Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
Good, how's it going?
So far, so good. I'm in here with Robert Vocolla, if you did not know.
Hey Robert, what's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Good job on all your success.
Yeah, he's awesome. Don't come on, stop now. He's heard all that. He's heard all that already. What's up?
Yeah.
How can we help you?
Okay, I was wondering if you can help me out with this problem. I've got a logistics VA customer service manager issue here. Okay.
The question sounds complicated, but go for it.
Okay. I've got 3 VAs that are working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Say that again?
Wait.
Located.
Each of them are working 18 hours a day, or you have 3 that are covering an 18 hours worth of shift?
No, they're covering.
So they're working 6 hours apiece, is what you're saying.
18 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got 3 VAs. Each of them are working about 8 or 9 hour shifts, and they're covering 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
All 3 of them are from the Philippines.
Okay.
Okay. They are good at following our really, really extensive, long training manual and SOP.
Yep. This is true.
And doing a couple other things, very robotic type of, copy and paste or
yes.
Things like going by like a very extensive checklist.
Okay.
They are not good at doing customer service manager type of things. Out of these 3, I thought that one of them would step up to the challenge. One of them would be really good and would be able to manage the other VAs, as well as step in and help me out and be a manager to our vendors and our independent contractors and a bunch of other help I need.
Okay, so I just want to be clear that I'm hearing this correctly. Are you saying that you that how many times? Well, okay. Is this your first shot with VAs? Is this like the first time you've done it?
I've been with VAs for 6 months.
And this is the first. So this is the first time that you've done this, right?
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so if I want to put this in perspective, I would say, Dave, you had a realistic expectation that on your first time with your first 3 people that you were going to find the person who could do everything?
No, I thought that I could promote one of them.
Yeah, that's my point.
You
thought you only needed to look at 3 people to find that one person.
Oh no, I've gone through probably 7 or 8 different VAs until these are the 3 that I'm comfortable with who are able to do,
Hey Dave. So
yeah.
I'm gonna step back a couple years into my my corporate life when I worked in marketing for technology companies. I was a director of product management for a technology company, and I was bringing on someone junior to me at management level. I went through probably 450 resumes before I hand selected 20 or so to give to an HR person to also go through to then select 5 people to interview to potentially offer the position to one. So my suggestion would be to make sure you have a very good job description and online posting profile that you set wherever you set this up at, so that you're getting a high volume of people that you can run the gamut through, and be prepared to interview 30 or 40 of them per position. Per position. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my question is, I've got these 3 VAs. They're okay. They're good at doing like regular like VA stuff, but they're not good at other things I need help with. So I need a customer service manager.
Yeah, I know. And what Rob said is exactly okay. So what he is telling you is exactly how it is done. I have never found the manager type. That is hard. And here's how we did it. We started with, well, in my world, it started with the manager type being on the U.S. side, or sorry, Canada. She's in Canada. I trained her, and then we worked on the job description, and I lost track of how many interviews she went through to build the team. I didn't care. But it was her responsibility ultimately to choose the ones that we started with. Now, from the ones we started with, we fired a lot of people and rehired a lot more, and we fired a lot of people and rehired a lot more.
About firing VAs?
Yeah, over and over again. Yeah. And then I told her, while we're going through this, be on the lookout for who the manager could possibly be. And
I see.
It was not. It was a lot more than. It was a lot more than 3 people who we had actually worked with that were there. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question. I've been thinking of bringing in a manager. Like, you know how you've got Megan. She's really good.
Yep.
I want to bring in a manager. I'll train the manager and have the manager help me out. But the thing is this: I can't figure out the hours that this manager is supposed to work, because I'm working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, doing what I'm doing. Not all together, but like in different spurts, you know.
So, I know, because you refuse to follow the system. But here's the deal.
I'm following.
Here's the deal, my friend.
What am I? Wait. What part am I not following?
Okay. Let me. Okay. I'll just wait here. Let me ask you.
I have no idea, but I know it's not typically a good idea to ask that question.
I got the automation.
How many? Okay. How many units do you have, Dave?
I've got 43.
Excellent. Good job. How many units? How many cities are those 43 units in, Dave?
Before I met you, I was in multiple cities across the country.
Yes.
And since your retreat that we had about a year ago.
Yep. Another one's coming up, by the way.
I was convinced to only go around my own neighborhood, and that's where I've expanded to since last year.
Okay, so what about those ones that were strewn out everywhere? Are they still around, Dave, or are they gone?
Yes. Yeah, I still have them.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's part of what creates this stress. But that's a whole nother story, another time. Here's the deal. I just got a notification that we have the maximum number of callers on hold right now, so I'm going to speed this up so I can get to them and get more people. Things are going crazy today. I'm going to let Robert finish this out, but what I want you to hear really, really clearly is if there's one place where you can't skip these steps, it's this. You have to invest. There's a gentleman by the name of Aaron Walker. This is who I learned it from. I did a podcast with him. I don't remember the episode number. His company name is A View from the Top. Look it up. He is the one who basically told me, Jay, if you are planning on hiring anybody, you need to be prepared For anything that takes you an hour to do, you need to be prepared to train them for 30. I was like, not encouraged when he said that. Okay. And I'm like,
let me ask you, like, real fast.
But
okay. But I know you're short on time.
Yeah, beyond.
What hours is my customer service manager
I was going to get to that.
To work?
That's what I was going to wrap up with. Are you using Smartbnb?
I hope so.
Are you currently using Smartbnb, the app?
I'm not using Smartbnb, no.
Okay. Well, if you use Smartbnb, which the system teaches you to do, just saying, if you use Smartbnb, they have a metrics tool, and in the metrics tool, you can see exactly when you have your highest volume of messages coming in to all of your channels.
Yeah.
And all your accounts. Okay. So you use that to determine when you need to have the most people on. And then secondly, the other thing I was going to mention was when Jay says that he hired the manager and trained her, what he means is she shadowed him for many, many months. Yes. Like literally hand in foot, or hand in hand. So you got to be prepared to put all that work in. It's not going to be just a training manual that you hand to someone and they're going to read it and say, and then maybe even you get so intense about it that you test them and they passed 100% on that training manual. It's not going to work until they actually sit and do the work with you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll put in the hours. I just don't know what hours they're supposed to work. But I like the idea. I'm definitely going to look at what our high times are. But it's not just about dealing with the guests. The manager is dealing with all of our vendors.
I know.
Having issues.
And that's how we got there.
Invoicing and all that.
I know. That's how we got there. And that's exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. It's good. Dude, I got to get to the rest of these people. But it's on replay. You can watch it when the recording there is watch that part stuff over again. So, but I
what
appreciate.
was that guy's name one more time?
Aaron Walker, View from the top. Okay.
See, Dave.
All right. Great.
Oh, sorry, Dave. Didn't mean to cut you mid-sentence, but I've got to get through. So, okay, cool. Ignat San Clemente, what's going on, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Jay? What's going on, Robert? Good to see you guys.
Hey, Nat.
Yep. I am prepared to get to you. It's next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, next Tuesday, December 3rd.
Yeah, I'll be there.
6 p.m. I'll send you it's a
I just need, obviously, I need the address and whatnot, but yeah. Yeah, sounds great.
I will do that.
Is that it?
Robert, if you're able to stop by, City of San Clemente, the short-term rental regulation approval.
Yeah, we'll do whatever we can to help. That's what we're talking about.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. I just wanted to check in with you guys. I know you got a lot of callers.
All right. Thanks,
nice.
man.
Good to see you.
Yep. For those of you who are wondering what that particular call was about, what happens is that from time to time, because we are all practicing the short-term rental world and strategy, I can show up to things to sometimes maybe make a comment and help in some way, shape, or form. And one of our students, Ignat, who you just heard, has already made some inroads in terms of getting city council to be kind of open to learning some things. And I'm hoping to help him with this approval process, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, we're all in this battle together. And that's just kind of how we work. So let's just keep going. All right. Yes, Megan, I got your note. I see there's more in queue. I am trying to take them out. Megan is now getting upset with me, but I'm going to do my best. Here's Robert from Arizona. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
So far, so good. What can we do for you?
So my question, I had actually posted on the students only group.
Oh, okay.
And then Daryl said, "Hey, why don't you ask that in the Q&A tonight?" I'm like, "Great idea." So my question is, what are the most important marketing KPIs to track?
Oh, okay. This is exciting. You want to start, or
no? You go ahead, please.
Okay, got it. So there's a training that I did a little bit ago. It was leads times it's L times M times C times F equals growth potential. It's a formula that came from Ryan Dice at Digital Marketer, and that first one, what you're talking about, is leads. So when it comes to the marketing metrics, there's a whole set of metrics around leads. There's a whole set of metrics around customer conversion, and then there's a set of metrics around margin, i.e., what is your average order value, or average how much is your guests spending when they stay with you, and then we have this whole thing around frequency. any one of those pieces can drastically change your revenue, and ultimately all of them are things you should be measuring. But if I'm just going to limit it to, say, leads, obviously views is one of those things that you have some insight into depending on the platform. So that's definitely one of those. You also want to measure views to things like inquiries. It's one thing if you have 1,000 views, but does anyone even bother to send in an inquiry? I mean, if they don't, that's a problem. But that's to give you some very simple ones. That's an easy one. What are you gonna say? I've got more, but I also got more people, and I know if I don't get to you, you know.
Right.
No. I don't have a lot to add to that. I would say those are direct things as far as KPIs are concerned and what you're going to measure. Some more indirect things are, I guess, just innate in the system in and of itself, such as making sure you have the right number of photos, what photos you lead with, making sure the photos themselves have the right descriptions, because some of the marketing is going to be done from the perspective of you going out and getting customers. Some of it's going to be you pulling customers in, and pulling customers in is really all about how well you perform to the Airbnb's algorithm and search rankings.
Yeah. What he's getting at is search position. So, for example, like on Airbnb, at least last time I checked, you had 18 spots on on page 1. Do you consistently come up below the fold? Are you top 9? Are you number 138? All of these things can matter and do matter. So it's really, really hard. The list of KPIs to measure and track and stay on top of they're massive. And it's why we recommend certain tools like Smartbnb, for example, in order to do that. I mean, unfortunately, Dave doesn't want to follow this. Yes, Dave, I'm jabbing at you again.
How many listeners did you say you had?
43.
43, and he actually, Smartbnb.
What's funny is that he thinks he's going to be able to somehow magically figure out his high and low time. And I'm like, how are you going to do that?
Does he even have a messaging tool? Some kind of messaging tool?
Bro, I don't know.
That's sad.
Carrier pinches. It's all good. Anyway,
sorry,
back to Robert. My point is, using these tools will help you begin to have a fundamental knowledge of some of those KPIs, because we don't even have time to talk about things like RevPAR and occupancy and average nightly revenue and days available, because
and how reviews play into it.
Oh my sweet Jesus. Yeah. What are your review scores? And how, so all of these things are things that ultimately affect your revenue, ultimately affect your search position, your leads, etc. But it's a lot. How many units do you have right now?
Right now, I don't have any. I'm just getting started. I do have a travel trailer that I'm managing. Cool.
Okay.
But that's it right now.
All right. Go get more units. Because that way you'll have it. Because here's the other side of that: is in order to have KPIs, you have to have enough data, and you're not gonna. It's going to be really, really hard just with one listing or two. So the only reason we know what we know is because we got a lot of data coming at us every day. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Cool.
Yep, sure does.
Were you gonna say something else, or I'm gonna go?
No, not related to this. So you can let him go. But
all right, cool. Something. All right, Robert, I appreciate it. Right. We got to get going.
Thanks, Robert.
So. For those of you who still want to call in, by all means, let me scroll back to what the number was. There it is. It is 417-344-2274, because there's actually room in the queue at this exact moment for you to call in. What were you going to say?
I was blown away. I actually saw in the comments a second ago that Davey says he's using Guesty. Still? I know it's a flat rate, but...
It's a percentage.
No, I know it was. He said it's flat rate.
Since when?
He's paying. Well, he's probably a master negotiator.
Maybe he got it. Yeah, maybe he got.
So what are you paying on Guesty that makes it still worth it? Because I left because I could not stand their aggravation anymore.
That would be an interesting. Did they convert? They didn't convert to a flat rate. Look it up real fast, because I'm curious.
Looking it up.
But if that would be interesting if they converted to a flat rate. Anyway, 417-344-2274. And we have Frank McCormick, it looks like, South Carolina. And there you are. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
So far, so good, sir. How can we help?
Hello there, entrepreneur. This is Jay Massey, and what I want to say to you is that the number one mistake that I have ever made in business, number one, has been waiting too long to do the books, waiting too long to get the bookkeepers, the accountants, the CPAs, the CFOs involved, and I don't want you to make that same mistake. That mistake cost me over 6 figures, and now for a significant discount, you have the ability to get your books together using FreshBooks. So what I want you to do is I want you to go over to gofreshbooks.com/cashflow diary. Again, that's gofreshbooks.com/cashflow diary. FreshBooks is the easy to use software designed to help you, the small business owner, the freelancer, get organized and save time on invoicing, getting paid faster, keeping those books in order so that it becomes a bonus for you to do your taxes as opposed to a burden. Go over to gofreshbooks.com/cashflow diary and get started today. And now let's get back to the rest of the story.
Yes, I saw a message on the Facebook page. It was talking about basic and pro distinction in the relationship between Lodgify and Airbnb, and I didn't quite understand that. And the reason I'm asking the question, I was working on Lodgify today, and it asked, do I want to connect to Airbnb, and I haven't done that yet. I've got the website ready. So what did that mean when it's talking about basic and pro?
Got it. So the difference is what is known as, say, an iCal integration. It's basically the technology that is used to actually connect your listing for the two softwares to communicate. One is known as with an application programming interface, or API, and the other is more, we'll call it old school iCal integration, and the biggest difference between the two is the time that it takes for the information to sync back and forth. Let me ask this question, Frank. Are you using Smartbnb?
Yes.
Okay, then choose basic and don't even worry about it, because Smartbnb has a feature known as sync, which will address the concerns in terms of the syncing of the calendar. So don't even stress. Don't even worry about paying for any additional feature there. Just use the basic.
Okay, I do have my first renter showing up tomorrow.
Awesome. Congrats, sir. That's exciting to hear.
Okay, thank you. That's a big help, because I did want to get now. If I understand it right, once we rent through Airbnb one time, we want to try to shift them when they come back to Lodgify, our own site.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, you're all. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah. What I was gonna say is, so what we do is, after every single reservation, about 2 days after that reservation, they get an automated email that basically invites them back and lets them know that if they book with us directly, they can at the very least save on the fees that they would have paid to the booking channels, such as Airbnb's fees and taxes. And we provide our contact information, our website, an email address that's specific to reservations, and a phone number in case they want to text us instead, because they'll try all different kinds of ways to get a hold of us to get a reservation. But that's just part of our process. And when guests reach out to us, and let's say we have a guest that wants to have a long-term stay, and they'll say something to the effect of, hey, this reservation's for 3 weeks, but I really need 3 months. Can you guys provide some type of discount? Can you accept, cash on site or whatever? We want to try to get this off the system. My basic response is, we can host you for any amount of time through the booking channel. And once you've made your reservation, then we can book with you again through our website, in which you would save some money. But you have to book through the booking channel first. I make it very clear to them that it is part of our host terms of service, that once they reach out to us on Airbnb, we have to take a reservation to them, and that's to protect us and our business.
I understand. Okay, great answers, because those were some things, because I was going to throw that switch on Lodgify tomorrow.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. And one last thing, Frank, just so that you know, I'm assuming you're a mastermind student. If you are, inside the resources section, there's a downloadable resource. I've forgotten how many templates are there, but messages like the one that Robert was just mentioning, they're right there for you to copy and paste.
Yeah, I've got that on my desktop now.
Perfect.
I've already downloaded.
I love it.
In fact, all of my messages on Smartbnb were pretty much those messages because I kind of did away with the Smartbnb message.
That was the goal.
The training is super because there's no way I would have pulled this off with renters tomorrow. There's no way at all. It's just incredible.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. And congrats on your first unit and your first guest arriving tomorrow. Have lots of fun. Let us know how it goes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, too.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we got a couple questions that came into the Facebook page. It's two different people, actually. I think we should tackle at the same time. One is from Lorena Lynn, and the other one from Adele. Excuse me. Lorena says, what are you guys doing in order to get more bookings from Booking.com? Because I'm new to it and I'm having a hard time. And then Adele is asking, how do you guys do your messaging for Booking.com since Smartbnb does not automate to it?
Got it. I'm going to take Adele's. You take Lorena's.
Perfect. So, Lorena, I would say that how you get guests on Booking.com is similar to the other channels. But because it's Booking.com and their interface is extremely difficult to work with, it feels like it's a heck of a lot more work. But it's the secret sauce between having every single field that you can possibly have filled out, and getting your pricing right. If you're using Logify, you're most likely doing a markup from Logify to Booking.com, and there's a very fine line between being able to make more money on Booking.com versus having absolutely outrageous pricing. I would say for myself in this market, I have found that Booking.com tends to be more cyclical around typical international holidays. So anything like a major holiday like Christmas and New Year's, as well as just summer breaks and things of that nature, Chinese New Year, the hot months in the Middle East. Is it ever not hot there? But it's not like I don't get reservations like Airbnb where it's just a constant drip. I'll get bursts of reservations from Booking.com, and when I do, it's very lucrative. So in short, make sure every single item on every single listing is filled out. There's descriptions. I would also say that you should have and try to mirror the same types of policies that you have in Airbnb and hopefully HomeAway that you have in Booking.com. So, for instance, if you have a moderate cancellation policy in Airbnb, which is 5 days, and you should have, I think they call it the flexible cancellation policy in Booking.com, which is like a 7-day type cancellation. As far as policies are concerned, do everything you can to make sure they're as uniform as you can across the channels.
Yep, and the only thing I would add to that is to say, to make it a little bit easier for you when he says make sure all the things are filled in, Booking.com gives your listing a score. There's a physical number that they give that gets closer and closer to 100. You want to get it as close to 100 as you possibly can, because that will make a tremendous difference.
It makes a huge difference.
So, and then where did Adil's question go? There it is. How do we handle messaging? It's not fun at the moment because, as you have no doubt said, Adil, it is not as automated as we would like it. No one is satisfied with it.
I started doing something different recently, by the way. That's a little bit better.
Okay, go for it.
So, before I was just sending messages out manually through Logify, primarily because I was getting reservations and they're, like I said, they were lucrative, but nowhere near the volume as with Airbnb.
Right.
In fact, HomeAway and Booking.com on my direct website was about 35% of reservations, as opposed to Airbnb being like 65%.
Right.
And of that, I would say of the total pie, Booking.com was 10 to 15%. So it was something that was manageable for me to do. However, I took the time to go into each of my listings and set up some of the automated templates that's directly in Booking.com. So the confirmation message that I would typically send from Smartbnb, that is plugged into Booking.com and that automatically gets sent. And my confirmation message not only tells them, hey, congratulations, we've got a reservation, here's the dates, times, location, but I also tell them here's what you can expect. And basically, we're going to send you a message right away that includes the rental contract and agreement for you to sign. And then 3 days before your reservation, you'll get the check-in instructions, and the day of your reservation, you'll get your door code. So what I do is I get that first initial message sent out from Booking.com, and then when I get messages come in, and I'm sure Jay being Jay will figure out a way to automate this, but I just use Google Reminders. I literally talk to my phone to set a reminder on a date and time of when I need to send the messages for the other guest. But I am sure there's a way to automate a task. And one of the tools we use to actually create those reminders in Trello or something of that nature, which is, I will admit, is the preferred method. I just haven't figured it out yet or taken the time to do that.
Yes. And what Rob says is very true. It's a very manual process. Right now, we're having those messages forwarded to a central email box that all of our staff have access to, and we're doing it manually that way. Now, with that being said, however, I have been on the phone, email, webinars with a number of different messaging tools and property management software companies, etc. And to a person, all of them have said the following words to me. We are working on the API integration with Booking.com. We have done everything that we can do on our end.
Thank you, baby.
We are waiting for Booking.com to finish whatever they need to finish on their end. And this is, again, I have been talking to multiple of these software vendors and providers. So they're not like icing out one of them. I don't know what's going on their end, but whatever's going on their end is what's holding up API integrations for a number of the tools, and which would suggest to me that whenever they figure it out, it's going to be suddenly like every tool suddenly has the two-way communication, et cetera, et cetera. There is one that I know of that I believe is the closest, because they said they've been in beta for a little while. My last message to them was trying to get me to be a part of the beta. Like, can I get in? I mean, something, can we see it? So I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I can tell you that, yes, Adil, you are 100% correct. It's an issue. It's being addressed. It's not being addressed anywhere near as fast as we'd like. That's for sure. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it should have been addressed yesterday. That's how fast we like it.
I agree. Mike in Colorado, let's see what's going on with you, sir.
Mike Word?
I believe it's Mike Word. Mike
Word?
Hello there.
Yeah, man. What's up?
It's Mike Word.
Yeah, good to see you, Robert.
Good to see you. Or hear from you, at least. What's a good word?
Yeah. So I got, I know, Jay, I put this on the forum the other day.
What's that?
I kind of want to get deeper into it. I got this guest. It's the same guest that was, tricking me with their pet, with their service animal.
Got it.
And now they're, and they had a couple extra guests that they didn't disclose at first, and then I told them, my security team informed me that there's other guests, and eventually they paid extra for those guests, and then they now that they asked for some more guests to come, two other coworkers, but they gave me a heads up. Close. I think they actually were there before they actually gave me a heads up, and then now they're asking for a 6-month lease.
Okay.
Coming in the near future. I don't know exactly when. They didn't give me an exact date.
Okay.
They said
congratulations,
they
first
would
of all.
rotate.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
They said they would rotate six people in this unit.
Oh, okay.
But only 2 at a time.
Okay.
Oh, so this is a company that's basically reserving 6 months for its employees or something?
Yeah, well, it's actually just one of the employees, and I think that they work in a meat packing factory or something that. And they just have 4 other people that are interested in also staying in the place, but supposedly not at the same time. They'd rotate 2 employees into this unit at a time.
Got it.
And
I've done this before. That's fine. I've done these before. But I have a question. Is this business you want? Do you even want this? Because the tone in your voice is not as excited as I think it should be for 6 months of occupancy. So I'm curious. Do you even want it? You can say no. It's fine.
Honestly, I don't mind. You know.
No. Do you want
I don't
it?
mind.
I shifted.
Why
well,
would
I
you
shifted
mind?
My, it's because of the unit. I shifted from last week. I learned from being on the call that the unit is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So it kind of makes sense. You know, it makes sense to have a different demographic than I've been aiming to serve there. I was aiming to serve just like kind of like corporate business people, but it's looking like it's more just blue collar people coming to work, you know, that have jobs there that are wanting to be in.
Why does it, Mike? Okay, go. Yeah,
Mike. Is their money different?
Yeah.
Is the blue collar workers' money different than the white collar workers' money? Different than the vacationers' money?
Yeah, a little bit. But
I'm listening. How?
Please tell me how. Educate me. I need to know.
They've been paying though. I know they're not like the blue collar. They're like, you know, in the meat packing industry, it's a really dangerous industry. So I know they're getting paid well. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're not. They're probably they got a higher salary than the average blue collar worker. But
let me ask you this. Actually, let me take a step backwards. How many bedrooms do you say it was?
It's 2.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if you're making, and when I say making, I mean profit, $1,600 a month for the next 6 months in that house. My first question is that good for you?
That's good for me.
Okay. If that's good for you, and that money is equal across the board, no matter what their profession is, what is it that you're actually concerned about? Because it's not the money; it's something else.
Well, I'm concerned that they're not as forthright as they could be.
Got it. Did they hurt your feelings when they weren't forthright?
It also looks like we have built this relationship with this guest, and they are attempting. I don't feel totally just disrespected by them. You know, they're a little sneaky. It seems like a little bit, but
okay.
If, you know, I'm laying it all out there, and I'm setting the rules so that they don't have to be sneaky anymore. You know, I'm allowing the pets in these units now, and you know it's just. I've adjusted my strategy with these people, and it's working. They've paid me. They've never not paid. You know, they extended their stay and paid. Their extra guests they paid for. So you know they're being solid at the end of the day. It's just, you know, getting to there has been a little bit tricky. So now I'm actually not questioning whether to let them stay or not. It's just how should I go about setting this agreement up with them, you know, since it's going to be for 6 months.
Got it. So you're talking about the actual tactical process of the reservation.
Exactly.
Got it. What platform did they come from?
They came from Airbnb.
Wow. Okay. And have you set up your direct booking website yet?
No, that's been very tricky with Lodgify. That was another part of the question.
Got it. That's why. Okay, got it. Now I understand why it's all collapsing.
Do you at least have Lodgify?
I've attempted twice now to set up Lodgify, and for some reason it fell out the bottom for me. But I mean, my intention in the next week was to go back to that. I've also been working with Marcy to get my book straight and all that too.
Yeah.
So it's like those are the 2 big things that I'm kind of got me in a little bit of a holding pattern.
Got it. So here's where, so you've identified 2 of the things. The third one is you're going to be your actual rental agreement, etc., which again is a part of the Lodgify setup. And once you have that done, after that, it just comes down to really discussing what kind of a payment plan do you want to give them, if any. And again, not saying you have to even offer them one. Take all of because if you can get them to give you all of the funds for the entire reservation for 6 months up front, you now, I'm assuming, would have more than enough money to start another unit, and that would also be good for you as well. But that's really where this conversation is going to end up falling down to is, do they have the capacity to actually meet your requirements for actually staying there in terms of, you know, the amount of compensation you would demand up front, which for me is no less than 60 days. So on something like this, I would want to collect in cash up front no less than at least 60 days. And you would have 30 days. You must,
every 30 days thereafter.
must every 30 days thereafter. Okay?
Yeah.
And I need a 30-day notice. If for some reason something ends, you need it to end early, I must have a 30-day notice. So it will not end any earlier than 30 days from the day we are in receipt of said notice.
Yes, and if you're using something like Logify, you can set it so the card, when he says collect funds, what he's really saying is an automated process for the card to be charged every 30 days. And that's in accordance with policies that you set up in Logify so that the guest has pre-agreed to that. And if, for whatever reason, the card bounces and they don't make good on that, the reservation ends and they lose all money. Period.
100.
Okay.
Or at the very least, you open up your calendar for whenever that whatever they paid for has ended.
Yep.
And just make them aware that the calendar is now open and available to anybody to book. And if you don't pay, then you're going to lose it.
Correct.
And when he also says, when Jay also says, find a way, it's always good to find a way to get them to pay 100% up front. What he's really saying is give them multiple plans and ways for them to pay. So let's say, for instance, you maybe provide a 10 or 15 or 20% discount for them to pay 100% of it up front. And or if they choose to do payment plans like we're mentioning, then it's 100% of the payment, or whatever that, let's say it's $3,000 a month, whatever, it's $3,000 every 30 days. And if it's paid up all up front, maybe that comes out to $2,800 or $2,700, something like that.
And under no circumstances is this a situation in where you accept less than your net profit number of that $1,600 a month. And in fact, if it covers some of whatever your high season months are, there probably should be a premium on that as well. But that's where I would come from. That's how I would put it together. But the tactical pieces you need, you've identified your Logify, the rental agreement, as well as the Marcy, the bookkeeper. Because if you get the number wrong, you're going to feel it.
Right.
Cool?
Okay.
All right. I got to get at this. No problem.
Yeah,
no problem. All right, let's get over to William. Yeah. William has been waiting for quite some time and is uber patient. And that also means, guys, there's room in the queue now for anyone who wants to give us a call. So, William, what's going on? William, are you there? Is William still there?
William waited so long.
But it still says.
Is he muted?
Oh, I forgot to hit the talk button.
Oh, come on, Jay.
He can't talk. Now he can talk.
I'm here.
There he is. My bad. It was me. Anyway, 417-344-2274. Anyone want to give us a call? By all means. Megan is there. Be nice to her, and then we will talk with you. What's up, William? How can we help?
Hey, gentlemen, thank you for taking the call. I want to make this as quick as possible because I know you have a ton of people. And the question I have, I posted on Facebook as well. I'm engaging some financial institutions, and I'm looking for resources that can explain and better describe the short-term rental business. I know you said there's something that you had in your materials. When I go to tools and resources, I'm unable to basically see any tools and resources. They're all locked. I am a student of the Mastermind Blueprint or whatever. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to anticipate any other questions you may have to be able to better answer how I can get some of those resources from you.
Okay, so help me understand exactly what is it that you are trying to present to whom, and I can probably direct you better. What are you looking for? What are you hoping to find?
So as I build out my business plan and my business strategy to share this with someone else, someone who's not in the short-term business, like a financial institution, I want to have some of the resources that you spoke about. I wish I could tell you exactly what video and what slide, but there's some videos and slides that you were talking about how basically how you explain the business to your students. And I want to be able to give a 1 or 2 pager to my financial institution so that they can understand as I scale how I want to do this and how this business works. Does that make sense?
Kinda, but I'm trying to understand what is it that you're seeking from the financial institution, I guess, is better.
Money. So I want to get money from them to to lend me as I open up the next 2, 3, 4 units. I want to borrow that money and use that towards opening up more units.
Got it. Understood. All right. So, I see. Now I think I'm beginning to understand where you're having the trouble. Is because they don't understand what you do, and you're having trouble telling them. Am I hearing this correctly?
Well, no, I can tell them okay, and they're interested. And actually, some of the institutions said they don't do this or they don't do that, but I'm willing to do what you're trying to do because you're more on doing a hospitality. Talking about me, I'm doing more of a hospitality spin, and not that I'm spinning it. It's just that's what we do. And so what I'm trying to elaborate on is how that business is not just real estate or not just the risk of real estate is different from the risk of hospitality. And I need to share that. And so as I share that in my 1 or 2 pager, I think you and I could be wrong, but I thought you referenced some resources that you've offered in some of your courses that will help explain that concept or that strategy. And so if I can utilize that as the blueprint and then use some of that information as I input that into my my 1 pager or my 2 pager, that would help me secure more money.
I know what you're looking for now, and everything that we have designed is intentionally designed for landlords, not for financial institutions. That's the difference. Is that because typically where this conversation comes from, for the most part, is the new person who's trying to obtain their first listing or their first location, and they're talking to a landlord trying to describe it. So those resources exist, but they're not in a format that's going to necessarily help a financial person in any way, shape, or form at all, because that's not even what they're designed to do, primarily because the majority of the lending institutions that I have spoken with personally and interviewed and blah, 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 they're still having trouble putting together the correct underwriting model, specifically the correct underwriting model when the real estate is not a part of that model. So, which is that's the whole thing. Does that make sense? I've not yet, and I'm open to it. I would love for him, hey, send them my way. We can have a conversation and we can figure out the format they want stuff in that'll make sense. I'm down. Now, short of having that, the only thing that I have found that is a way is, but it only matters once you've gotten started, is that there are a number of companies who will advance you against your future revenue or existing revenue in some way, shape, or form to help you get some additional capital going. But what you're talking about is how can I start with a loan in place that can cover me for my first 10 units or something, and I don't know of any place that can do that yet. But if you do, I'm down to have said conversation.
Well, if he's a homeowner,
I think we've identified that, and I think what you're saying, the underwriting is the question. And so if I can get more creative, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but I can get more creative on the hospitality front and not the real estate front, I think it will solve that question or that problem. And I'm 99% sure I've heard you explain it in a way, and you say, "Oh, I got a resource here, I got a resource there." I need to now put my finger on that because I think that's my golden. Golden ticket.
They're there, but they're primarily structured for landlords just to describe the business, but they don't talk about any of the financial metrics that an underwriter would care about.
But my financial metrics is I'm going to be able to show the 2 years that I've been in the business. What I need now is basically the story to tell to say, hey, this is not a real estate risk. This is now a hospitality or a small business risk in a different way. And
so if you go inside the mastermind, what happens is for those students who have mastermind, you're talking about something that's literally in the bonus materials. If you go into the mastermind, under the mastermind bonus, there's another downloadable resources section. There's what we call the landlord letter. There's an example of hold on, let me go back to what it was. Scroll. Why is it not scrolling properly? So I'm going to, there it is, resources. There's a business card template as well. That's also there. And then there's I forgot what we called it. It was either the flyer or the leave behind, because it's a two-sided PDF file with an example of here, let me see if I can find it right here. Oh,
are you on that link? Would you mind just placing it in there just so I don't take up too much more of your time?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. So if you look at, I don't know that you can see the screen right now, but right here, this is the template for the landlord letter that I'm referring to, and then I'm looking for that's the lease agreement. There it is. The pitch packet is what I called it. And here's the leave behind that I'm referring to. If you've heard me refer to anything, these are the files and documents that I'm referring to, because basically I even put a video together that's in two parts to help explain it, because, well, that's what it takes. And then, well, that's not formatted correctly right there. Doesn't look right. When you download it, it'll look better. But anyway, we had, this was a while ago, back when we only had 450 reservations. Anyway, so it has it here. The problem is, I mean, maybe this is what you're looking for, but I mean, if it helps you, great, it's there, but I just don't know if that's actually going to be what an underwriter wants. But if it'll help you tell the story, though, that's for sure.
Okay.
If that's what you're after, that's where it is.
So I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. You got here how I'm just.
So when you go to
and watch how you're doing.
Yeah, when you log into the training center, it's in the bonus. It says short-term rental mastermind bonus. It's in the mastermind bonus section, and it's under week 1. On the Saturday replay link, it's also under week 1 tools is where you'll find some of the extra downloadable resources that I'm referring to.
Is that under advanced training courses or library or cash flow?
No, it's advanced.
Okay. Sorry.
Is that cool?
It is. Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. I think there it is. So we got another caller. Was there anyone in the Facebook group that we need to talk about?
Let's see here.
Oh, look at this. Peter Duncan. This should be good. Who knows what he's got to say. Hey, Peter. What's up?
Hey, Jay.
Yep.
This should be good. This is going to be good.
I have a feeling it's going to be good.
We're going to make good. We're going to make good.
Yeah, go for it.
I just wanted to let you know, first of all, it's a crispy 42 degrees up here. You would love it.
Crispy. I love how you said that. You can keep it. I'm good. I had enough trouble. I have enough trouble with our temperatures as it is. Anyway, what's going on, sir?
So, as you probably scrolled through the message, I have a potential, very probable situation where I need to get out of a lease. So, I followed the system and took action, but admittedly, my choices weren't the greatest in the 2 units that I have with landlords. I didn't choose very well. So I have a landlord issue that partially stems from the landlord not upkeeping the property, sort of some slumlordish, and then I have part of that is he's got a tenant right beneath my unit that has some mental health history, got some mental health issues. He's fighting with his girlfriend. On one occasion, chased his girlfriend up to my unit while guests were there. The police were called. Last week, I had a 7-day booking that came from Verbal, and on the first night, they were canceling. They left the next morning. It was a 7-day booking. I have a 13-night stay there starting tonight, and I'm extremely worried because the guy is very, very vindictive. So we called the police on him last week as well. So the landlord is shifting the burden to me, and
shifting. Whoa! Shifting what burden?
To take care of his tenant issues.
Go on. This is interesting.
Yeah. You called it. So where we are thus far is that twice we've called the police on this guy. Mental health issues. I believe he and his girlfriend are using as well, probably meth or something like that.
Okay.
They're always home. One of those situations.
Got it.
I don't have any evidence, but certainly, the landlord is aware that this guy's a problem, not only from my situation, but this is the same landlord that I talked to you previously about getting other units. Well, the maintenance guy that was doing all the renovation work for him either quit on him or got fired or something, and so that guy experienced difficulty with this tenant as well, threatening him. The landlord actually states that the guy attacked him physically, yet he did not call the police. And so he's just unwilling. He's really just trying to pit me between, me against the guy. And, I've got my own issues. I'm trying to run a business here. I'm not trying to,
So what do you want to do?
So,
what do you want to do? Tell me what you want to do, and I can give you some thoughts.
I want to get out.
Okay.
I want to go.
Then, then what you need to be able to document and again, I would have to examine your lease. One, and because I'm about to say what I'm about to say, let's be really clear. I am not.
I know you're not a lawyer.
Thank you. I know you do, but I just got to say it because, it is what it is. And yet at the same time.
Are you a therapist?
I'm not. I'm definitely not that either.
Are you
financial advice?
Are you a lawyer, Robert? Are you a lawyer?
I'm not a lawyer, not a therapist. I don't give financial advice. But you can put your head on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I give good hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good cop, bad cop. Right.
That's the idea. So what it comes down to at this point is you just need to, talk with the landlord-tenant attorney, and just there's going to be, at least in most states, there's a certain amount of documentation that you need to make sure you provide or that you have in case the landlord tries to enforce the lease against you. Because basically what you're telling me is everything that you're telling me says that he's violating what is typically known as quiet enjoyment. That's one of the promises the landlord is making. So the promises that he has made to you in the contract, he is not fulfilling on. He has no ability to say, well, you fix it. And there are so many reasons why you shouldn't, and I'm pretty sure he wants to maintain equitable interest in his property. So I'm just going to go with, if you're looking to leave, I'm sure you've got documentation of everything that's happened thus far, and making sure that if for some reason he wants to enforce that you stay, then you'll have what you need should it come down to him hiring someone trying to make you or make you collect, etc. Now, with that also said, I'm hoping you followed the template that we put inside the materials, because if you did, one of the other things you have available to you, which is a more gentle way of doing it, is to find him a replacement tenant, someone to literally take your spot and you leave. But at the same time, that doesn't solve the problem and just creates a new issue with this person who is now living there above the same situation. So with all of that being said, I'd talk to a landlord-tenant attorney, find out what it is that you need to have according to your local, was it Seattle? Yeah, Washington. What you need in Washington to effectively prove that he has broken the contract, and because he has broken the contract, because there's usually a very clear and formal process that you, the tenant, can follow in order to then move. Now and depending on the law there, he may actually even owe you some money and all kinds of extra stuff. So, but you just got to figure out what that is.
Okay, and then just to follow up on the quiet enjoyment, is that implied in generally every lease, or is that spelled out? It's
usually both. It's usually both, but again, I haven't seen I don't know the document you signed, so but it's usually there.
And this is basically what I had. I just need to hear it. I pretty much figured that when a landlord enters into a contract, there are certain duties that just automatically accrue. So
yeah, he's got a problem. It's not your problem, and what you have is a responsibility to your tenant, and you just need to make sure that your fiduciary responsibility to him ends in a way that is defensible. That's really all I'm after. I mean, if I wasn't concerned about it being defensible and you having integrity, you just pick up and leave. But that, don't want to do that. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay. Excellent.
And just so you know, my suspicion is that there's more going on with the landlord in his life somewhere that's preventing him from being able to do what it is he needs to do. I don't know what it is, but there's probably more to his story as well, but that's just food for thought.
Yeah, I think maybe he just bit off a little bit more than he can chew. He's worked for the city of Seattle for a long time. This apartment complex, 16 unit, is in SeaTac, and his home is right around the corner. And I think he loves Section 8 tenants, but at the same time, he's beautified the inside of each unit. He's renovated each unit, or was in the process of renovating every unit inside before he got into it with his contractor. Contractor claims that he wasn't paid fully. Landlord claims that the contractor ran off with the money. So there's all kinds of junk going on.
Yeah,
so
this is I'm hearing inexperience. This is one of the reasons why I like getting people started today with short-term rentals first before they start buying buildings and whatnot. But I'm hearing inexperience, and basically, ultimately, what this turns into is honestly, if someone who knew what they were doing actually wanted to buy the building, fixing all of that stuff it's totally fixable. For the right price. It's totally fixable. So.
Anthony says, tell the landlord to kick the guy out, and you'll take that unit too. That's definitely workable.
That is also a solution.
A better answer,
that is a great solution for sure. But it doesn't sound like he knows how to process an eviction right now to me. I'm not hearing that.
Exactly. So if that were his true intent, because we discussed me taking several units or all of the units, and he put on as if he wanted that, but he's still accepting Section 8 people, and he knew about this guy long before I got there. So he's just using me to get rid of the guy, which is costing me money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And heartache.
It's not your responsibility. It's his. So it's up to you. That if you want to, there's a path to you owning that building. There's a path to you leaving. There's a path to you getting more units. Whichever one you want, the choice is yours. Just document and you'll be fine. Cool?
Okay.
All right. We get over to
guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
All right.
Take care. So
I'm coming for that hug.
What Mike has another question. He wants to know if you can call in, but here's the thing. The question could probably take up a whole Q&A. And that is, how much do we pay for a manager? What basic roles do a manager serve? What calendar platforms does Logify actually synchronize with? Sorry for so many questions. Thank you.
Start with module 4 and 5 in the mastermind group. Because that's going to get you started in the correct direction. All right? And we're going to take it.
And not only that, but I'm pretty sure Rebecca and Erica covered this in their presentation at the Mastermind Summit.
Which means
you have recordings of that too.
You have the recordings of that as well. So I would encourage you to review that. That was on
really
day one.
Session. That was a very good session.
That was day one material too. Oh my goodness. So let's get to the last caller. We've got Chris in Orlando, Florida. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing so far on the left coast. How are you guys doing?
We're a little chilly, but we're being all right. We're all right, hanging in there.
We can't say that too loudly. There are people in Minnesota listening, so be careful.
We got storms coming though, starting tonight.
It's all good. How can we help?
Sucks for you guys up north. But my question was, me and my brother are we're going to start to do Airbnb. So I was going to ask you, I've been asking a lot of the owners and I guess the listing agents if the owners would be open to doing Airbnb. And it seems like a lot of them are scared or don't know like how to go about it. Like, what do you recommend? How would be the best way to approach an owner or these listing agents that don't know anything about Airbnb, but we want to make sure they get their money?
Got it. So let me I'm gonna let Robert get this one because I can hear him. He's dying to do so. But I'm curious. It's just a very simple question. Chris, are you a current Cashflow Diary student? Because I'm sensing you're not.
No, I actually just joined. I just found your page on the YouTube. So I literally just subscribed not too long ago.
Rule number 1. Are you listening carefully? It is not an Airbnb business.
I was waiting for that.
It's a short-term rental business.
Right.
It's a hospitality business. Airbnb is a marketing channel in which you get one place where you get your customers. One of many, 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 many places. And under no circumstances ever use that terminology with a landlord. They will kick you out before you get your foot in the door.
Which I think he's experienced that so far. That is what it sounds like. He's not getting very far. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you gently / strongly / please go do this, is go to cashflowdiary.com /star, STAR. It's a 97-ish minute presentation, and we'll go over some of the basics of how this industry is to be presented, who it is that we are, what we're doing, how it works. There are a number of individuals, many of whom are probably watching right now, and don't get me wrong, are there people who haven't used our information and made money? 100%. And are there people who have used our information and made money faster, better, bigger businesses, all of these things? Yes, because the opportunity is so great. People have tripped over it. But if you're looking to become that professional operator that can scale to tens, to dozens, to multiple dozens, to hundreds of locations, that's kind of what we do. And there's a very specific step-by-step process in that conversation that we have. And having it, I could tell you the words, but when you don't understand the rationale behind the words and how it's supposed to work, it doesn't work for you. Because and yes, you just said you literally just stumbled on the YouTube page, which I think is amazing. And at the same time, one of the things that I've always said and continue to say is that you can't just have expert tools. You have to know how to use expert tools expertly. And that's the thing, is you must have both of those, because it's simple. The expert tool is, and again, we go over this in the presentation at cashflowdiary.com /star, but the expert tool is what to say. Here are the words. The words are very simple. It's like, hi, Chris, my name is Jay. My company and I, we're looking to lease a number of properties in the area. Are you the right person to talk to about that? Those are the words. There are that's the words. That's how the conversation needs to start. And there's a process and methodology to understanding how to answer, or what you were talking about is where do you get your customers from versus what it is that you do. And when you understand how to separate those two by understanding who it is that you want to serve and how to explain that to landlords, then doors begin to open. Like I said, though, everything that I'm saying to you at a high level is what we talk about in detail inside the Mastermind Module 1, 2, and 3. It's for those who are our Mastermind students, they get a 6-hour training directly with me in group form that we're doing, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Anyway, that they do with me to make sure they get started the correct way, because there is so much of this business that's done on the front end that has to be done the right way from the beginning that allows you to scale. And I think I heard you say you were trying to work with realtors, which is harder to do, but can be done. However, many of our students have found that when they've learned how to do this conversation, they don't need to work through a realtor in order to make it happen. So I understand where you are, and we have a number of students in the Florida area. So we would love to have you, but it's really difficult for me to try to recreate 4 hours of training right now. Therefore.
Oh yeah, no problem. I appreciate the insight. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, cashflowdiary.com/star.
Yeah, and I just let you know, I was everything I said was true, but I was just being playful with it. It's a short-term rental business, and
100%.
Yeah, you'll make a lot. Put it this way, you'll make a lot of money through Airbnb, but you will also make more money per reservation on just about any other channel.
Just about any other channel, 100%. So, anything else, Chris, or is that'll help you right now?
Yeah. Last question. I was considering just because we're in Orlando, Florida, home of Disneyland, and tons of people want to come here.
You mean Disney World?
All the time. I was Disney World or Disneyland. Yep.
Yeah. We're Disneyland. Your world.
Yeah, we got the world here. Yeah. I was saying that if I could maybe get an apartment on my own and then do it that way, would that work?
Well, when you go through our system, you'll understand that you should be using an entity of some kind. So we tend to recommend that you talk with your attorney for which legal entity structure to use. That's right for your situation, but to use a entity structure for your situation, so that as you go out there and operate, you have the proper protections in place, especially with your insurance, etc. So the majority of our students do it, quote unquote, on their own.
No problem.
So it should work for you just fine. I don't see why it wouldn't. Is that cool?
Thank you so much, and I'll be logging onto the website now.
All right, Chris.
Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for calling in.
Take care.
Talk to you later. Okay, so Shelton just called in from Hawaii.
Who?
Big Shelton. Because I said it out loud, I kind of have to answer, don't I? I can't just go, no, I won't talk to you. That would be wrong.
Yes, you have to answer, and that's probably one place where the weather is better than here.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
That would be at least interesting to find out. Let's see if he's there. Shelton, how you doing?
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Good. Is the weather better? What you got?
Oh, gosh, it's Hawaii. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know, right?
Beautiful.
I know.
I'm not answering that question. Of course it is.
He's like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Yeah. What's going on? How can we help?
So I got, so we're in a 30-day market, right? So
Yep.
I recently got a booking that I was fearing what would happen. So we're booked till December 17th, and then we just got a 75-night booking, but he's not checking in till January. Oh, what was it? I'm sorry, I got it backwards. December 21st, the guy's checking out. This guy's checking in on January 17th. So I got like 28 days or whatever, 25 days of vacancy.
Yeah, I think, okay. And you're probably about to ask me, how do I fix that?
Yeah, I'm like, what? This was my worst fear. I was like, man, what happens if something like this happens? But on the good side is the 75-night booking. He took like top dollar. He didn't even negotiate a price. He was just like, I'll pay whatever you got, and it was nice. It was a nice payday for that one. So
Got it.
I'm just trying to see what I do for this vacancy.
It's a good question.
Charge more.
Okay. Well, he's not wrong. But I'll say it differently. You've got a few days. What can you sell this person, the one who's either leaving or the one who's arriving? How much revenue do you need to cover that gap of days, those 25 days? What can you sell either of them? Hey, mister who just paid $75 days all up front with no discount. We happen to have a car rental. We happen to have airport transfer. We happen to have additional cleanings that I've decided to mark up 50%. We happen to have
surf lessons.
Oh, that's right. It's Hawaii. Right. We have all of these things that many of our guests have taken advantage of during their time here. Which of them would you like? Here's package A, package B, package C. And then for the person that's leaving, offer them some cleanings. Offer them the same thing. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So yes, we're charging more, but you are creating packages of something, somebody else's service that you can resell. So let me say it another way. Go to your BNI like I've recommended and find a service provider who has something that would work with. Hey, is there a personal chef who do they want food? We got food. I mean, Thanksgiving is in a few days. Hey, maybe would you like us to cook it for you? Okay, didn't know that was an option. But do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So it's that type of creativity that's going to bridge that gap. And here's the fun part. Once you develop these packages, guess what you get to do? What's that?
What is that?
You get to do them over and over again, even when you don't have gaps.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, I see now.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, that does make sense. That sounds pretty cool.
I mean, and in Hawaii, you've got too many of these options. As soon as I started saying it, you were like, oh yeah, my friend does. And I know you probably, that just started happening for you. So go talk to those people, make something happen, help them make money too. They're going to start to love you. Kidding me? It's going to be great.
Got it. All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
No problem.
Thanks, Jay.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon.
All
Right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call it a day right there because that was a lot, to say the least. And I definitely appreciate all of you guys dialing in, typing in, being patient. We did get overwhelmed on the phone line more than I even thought, so it looks like we'll be upgrading to where 10 of you can be on hold at the same time, because apparently there's a lot of you who want to ask us questions, which is great and fun, and I appreciate it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I just hope that you do this one thing. Now, this is a great strategy. Be prepared. Here's what I mean. You're about to meet a whole bunch of people you normally don't talk to. Some of you need to raise capital. Some of you need more locations. Be prepared. Inside the materials, under Cash Flow Foundations, there is a video called your audio business card. Understanding your audio business card will give you the ability to be prepared so that when you're around the people who have the greatest potential of being willing to do business with you, and you're under the context of Thanksgiving and hey, what are you doing? And you know, like I know, everybody's going to start talking soon about how are you going to make more money next year. You will be properly ready to make that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.